Yes, that's right. We are back again. We've got more cardboard conversations. Thank you everybody for joining us. As always, I'm Pat, joined by Matt. How you doing tonight, brother?
Dude, I'm tired, but I mean,
Yeah.
I keep staying up so late every day.
Uh, and you've got a weird enough schedule as it is already. What's keeping you up?
You know what's fun? Diablo 2. All right.
Oh, tell me more. Tell me more. And we got a lot of news, trading card stuff. We're gonna get into that very quickly, but I gotta know, Matt, what is it about D2 that's just grinding these hours for you?
So Diablo 2 Remastered came out, I don't know, a couple years ago. And everybody's like, "Oh, dude, it's sick." I'm like, "Yeah, it's good. It's Diablo 2. They added some quality of life. They added shared stash space and stuff like that. So they added some stuff. And they were gonna do some crazy, they're gonna do updates on this 20-year-old game. Graphics look amazing. They're fantastic.
Oh,
Everything looks very
wow.
fluid and smooth. Everything's great, right?
Okay.
But then you play the game and you're like, well, you can tell it's a little dated. There's like old school mentalities that carry over, and nowadays that doesn't really exist. Like immunities, for instance. Imagine playing a
Mm,
build where your build just can't kill a monster. Just
where it
can't.
just won't work.
You just
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
can't actually do it unless you get some gear that allows you to do it. So very limited. That is one of the things that really bugs me. There's a bunch of other things, but this mod that I found, it's called D2R Reimagined, and it
Thanks, Jerry. No worries. Gotta take care of yourself first and foremost. That's what we always say. And we're gonna definitely talk about it. And I know we'll be talking about it with Bob again soon.
I think he would love it, but the mod that is. But basically
Mm,
the mod just adds it's a community made mod, and it just adds a fuck ton of quality of life. Removes immunities, like quadruples the stash space. It just like doubles the inventory space. Like there's all kinds of things that it just makes it feel better, and it makes it feel more fluid. And they added like 1,000 different unique items. They added like 100 new set items. They added more rune words, like things that like you would hope that Blizzard would do one day and actually like support the game that they remade. But instead, they just kind of let it die.
oh man, it's interesting you say that these new mods to a game you've been playing for quite a while. Is something that's gotten you back into it, and we're definitely going to talk about Satisfactory 1.0 modding. But let's answer Max Musterman. I gotta say, what's the most expensive card I own? That's an interesting question. I think currently is probably one of the Gen Con Mickey Mouse promos, either that or I want to say that Cavern of Souls that Bob sent me, and that's just a different kind of priceless, really. What about you, Matt?
What is the Mickey Mouse going for right now? Is it
Oh,
still in like the
not all that
150,
much.
150, $100? So what is it?
Yeah, something like that. Between 75 and 150 is my guess.
Because I have I think it's a fourth edition or a revised, which I think is the same thing. Mana Vault that I know like went up in price recently, so I don't know if it's still is Mana Vault still 100. No, it's in the 50s. So yeah, it's probably the Mickey Mouse promo, honestly. I did pull.
$83. That's what those Mickey Mouses are.
It looks like Mana revised is 87,
Ooh,
depending on
interesting question.
condition.
What constitutes the value of a card? What comprises it? What makes something end up being more expensive than others? Yeah, I'd say that scarcity. That's probably the number one thing.
Well,
Um,
supply and demand really is the
yeah.
thing. The market kind of
Ooh,
dictates it based on like how
ooh,
readily available the card is in order to buy.
exactly. Yep.
There's a lot of
Very
good
true.
cards that could be worth more money, but because they're so readily available, they're just not. Like Nadu, for instance. Nadu was
Mm,
such a powerhouse card when it first came out. Everybody was playing it. If it was more scarce, if it was more of a rare card, the card should have been more. I thought it was going to be like $20, $30 card, but it was $2. So that was a very strange thing for me. Like, it's a mythic. Is it? Is it? It wasn't a mythic. It was a
no, I
mythic,
think it's
right?
rare.
Oh, they should have made that a mythic.
Yeah, it was quite available for
Oh
people.
yeah, it was a rare. So yeah, even it's still $2.
Hmm.
Um,
Ooh, and
yeah,
Sherry got Bob a Gaia's Cradle for his birthday not too long ago. And that's got to be one of the most valuable things he has. Not just his love for the game, but even more so than that, the love for his wife. So, that's a big thing. Have a great night, Max. Yeah, so speaking of things that people get a sentimental and really close attachment to, uh things that we watch a lot of media, we grow a really close attachment to something if we watch hours and hours of it. So people have really fallen in love with Marvel over the years. They've made a lot of movies, and people have really just made a following of it. And recently announced was a Secret Lair super drop. So, lazy eye. That's kind of the thing. So, the Secret Lair super drop coming up here. The Marvel announcement was just at New York Comic Con. This comes out yesterday. We got the announcement of it, and an interesting composition of this. If you end up spending over $99, you get free singles. Okay, pretty standard stuff. But if you spend over $199 total on the order, you actually get a special edition Arcane Signet. Now, Matt,
do
right
you
off
actually
the
like
top,
that?
what's
I
that?
think that. Do you actually like that card art? Like, I think it looks terrible, right? It's just
No, I'm
all.
not particularly a fan of the what is on the card itself as much as what it takes to get the card. That right there, we were talking about with Max just a moment ago, scarcity. This is definitely not going to be expensive because it's an old card. Arcane Signet's been around forever. There are a lot of versions of it. But this being a promo that it takes $200 to buy into, I think that that's probably going to drive a pretty decent price on this.
Yeah, I just think it. Like I don't know. Like, I'm not really an artsy fartsy guy, but like as far as art goes, it's like a very bland, one tone, it's like all one color. I couldn't tell you if it's a hood ornament or like a. I mean, I know it's a tower. I don't. Well, I think it's a tower. It might be a building. I'm not actually sure what it is, to be completely
Yeah,
honest.
it's Avengers Tower.
Okay.
So this is the big Avengers symbol on one of
Right.
the highest stories of Avenger Tower here. They've got a little platform. That's where all the superheroes land on and jump off of. And this is, overlooking a city.
Yeah, I don't know. When I first saw this, I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't impressed. I'm not a like a. I'm. I wouldn't say I'm like a huge Marvel fan, but I do watch the movies. When I was looking through the cards, like Iron Man looks really really good.
Mhm,
I don't know.
mhm.
We'll get to each of the cards, I'm sure. Uh, as far as like power level, I actually do like the art of the Iron Man stuff as well. As far as if I'm gonna buy any, I don't know. I'm kind of I'm unsure. I'm uneasy about Secret Lairs. They flip flop constantly between it's super available, it's not available, it's super available, it's not available, it's
Right.
super available. It's like, is this going to be another 3 weeks? It's gonna be printed demand, however long. Everybody gets one. It's like not a Secret
So
Lair
it says these
anymore.
drops are available in limited quantities.
Yeah, but
However,
they said that
yeah.
about the festival in the box. So like that was available. That was low inventory for like I think it was like 3 weeks.
Oh, the Las Vegas Festival in a
Yeah,
Box
the
was
festival in the
around
box
for
it was
like 8 weeks. That
no,
it was
but
a
it was
little
low
well invested.
quantity, low inventory for 3 weeks.
Mm.
So like I just don't believe them, is what I'm saying.
And Cosmic says that they quit buying Secret Lairs. It's interesting. I think this is actually going to be, and we'll get more on the quantity later, but I think this is going to be the first Secret Lair that I actually purchase.
I've purchased a few. I mean, I have 3 festival in the boxes. I've pulled all the collector packs out of those and opened those. Those will be on shorts coming up in the next week or
Oh, and
so.
to rebut against the coach's magic here, it's not really about what the card looks like. It's that it costs $199 to qualify to get that promo. So that's kind of the conversation. I could care more or less about an arcane signet. I've got enough to give away. But $199 promo, that's going to be interesting. I'd like to see how the market reflects on that. Only time's going to tell.
Yeah, Bob was saying he's spending like 1,000 to 1,500 on this Secret Lair, like a different variety of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to stay with that, but he was mentioning that he wants 10 plus of the Iron Man, which is crazy to me. One of each of the other ones, maybe Black Panther. He's not like too super excited about. Wolverine, maybe 2. I don't know. He said 2 and 2. I don't know what that means. Captain America 6-ish in some combination. I don't know what does he mean by 2 and 2
I'll
and
be
in
honest,
some
I think
combination.
one of his medications started kicking in, or he needed to take one and he was still typing away, and that's one of the reasons why he's like taking a nap.
Well, does he mean 2 foil, 2 non-foil? Because that would make sense.
I don't know. I've talked with my old man before by text message, and this is very reminiscent of that. Like,
It's probably
Bob,
that.
wonderful guy. I'm just thinking that like
I was
there are
thinking
so many
when he
options
first
to
was
this
talking.
that like any combination or variation of ordering on this, even abstaining from it, I think the range of going from $0 to $1,000 is both a good option and pretty much in between, as long as you can afford it. That again, through line of our show is don't buy anything you can't afford to. Don't buy anything you don't want to have. What about Black Panther? Is this something you would want to have? Is this interesting to you?
I couldn't even tell. The only thing I know is Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
That's all. I've never even seen the Black Panther movie, which is.
I saw the first one. I'm pretty sure he punches a rhino right in the face, and that right there is something to say. You know,
I've heard it's good.
Like a superhero that punches an animal, dude. I just watched some of RRR the other day. Main character throws a leopard at another person. Like that's how he takes him out. Is he throws a live leopard?
Okay.
Black Panther, Wakandan King, start from the top to the bottom. For a green and a white, you get a 2/2 legendary human noble hero. First strike. Survey the realm. Whenever Black Panther or another creature you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on target land you control. 3, move all 1/1 counters from target land you control onto target creature. If one or more 1/1 counters are moved this way, you gain that much life and draw a card. You know, low to the ground. I see this easily in the 99 already in a deck.
Yeah, there's a deck that my buddy plays, Miss Bumbleflower.
I love that. People are gonna just yell out every single time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. All I know about Black Panther is what I said, and I was just like, it's not a bad thing. It's just it's this like the iconic.
Yeah. But first thought right away, this is not Commander. For me, this is not what I want to put in a hard case and present as my commander. This is a great 99 ad for a lot of decks.
I mean, it could be. I mean, it could be a commander. I just don't think it's the best of like for if you're talking about like a go wide. Most likely you would go token generator, mass token generation, because this is whenever. So every time a creature, no matter if it's a token or not, you get the 1/1 counter on lands. Honestly, what's more annoying than anything to me than this is that it's on your lands. So like as you're tapping for mana, all your fucking lands have these tokens on them, which makes it just super annoying. So you can't stack the mana anymore. You're gonna tap the mana, and then it's gonna like flip the dice, and then you're like, what was that on? And I don't know.
I like it.
Yeah, I could just foresee it being such a pain in the ass to keep track of. But that's just tokens or 1/1 counters in general.
Good things, even though the commander that they include for this, the Black Panther card for this Secret Lair, you're still getting some other good cards. I mean, Secure the Waste, I never realized how good this card is, especially at instant speed. This is solid. Underrated. This needs to go in at least 2 decks I have that it isn't in.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing a token strategy deck, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Why is this not in Kaikar? Who wins Fury? I mean, seriously, easy add, and it's an instant, so it's going to trigger Kaikar too. Duh, what am I doing? And
I
it
think
looks
because
cool.
with Kaikar, you're kind of more like aggro, and like having to like pass the turn without doing anything feels weird.
Mm.
It's not something you really often do. Do you ever like save your mana for stuff?
No, but my creatures are like the mana, and adding in Maskwood Nexus, it turns all of these into more creatures that I can sacrifice for mana. And then we've also got Bast Blessing, which is a reskinning of Primal Vigor. Pretty, ubiquitous card in Commander. For 4 and a green, you get an enchantment. If one or more tokens would be created, double. If one or more 1/1s would be put on a creature, double it. Yeah, solid ad right there.
Wasn't there another green card that's like better than this for like 1 less mana? I'm like, my brain's like, I'm like, what? There's a card that does the exact same thing.
So heavy into token doubling and just in general, the power creep of Commander. But I still think Primal Vigor, this holds up. This is a solid ad, especially in a pretty tasteful reskinning. I kind of like it.
I mean, it's fine.
Right.
Like I said, I don't know. Like, it doesn't really do anything for me.
What about this heroic intervention? I mean, still meets a lot of decks. This is a solid player for many a Commander player. What are you thinking?
It looks fine. I mean, I put heroic intervention in my my Kona deck recently, which, by the way, Kona is an absolute monster. It really is. It is dumb. I become the archenemy so fast.
And we also get Karn's Bastion. You know,
Is it supposed to look like a chicken?
So I was thinking it was a giant shoe, like a big boot.
If you look at it, like it looks like a beak.
I kind of see it poking out this
either
way.
that or like a dinosaur, not a dinosaur, a Godzilla monster from like it kind of looks like one of those Godzilla robot monsters.
If this is how Wakanda builds skyscrapers, cool, whatever. But that's not what it reads to me.
It does, yeah, I don't know. It looks kind of like a chicken or like a Godzilla robot monster with a really long neck.
And then you also get yourself a Wakandan warrior token. Okay, cool.
It's also a missed opportunity. One of the cards should have been Wakanda forever. I mean, come on now.
And $40, I think that's going to be a very reoccurring thing here. And Matt, I want to ask you, there's an Easter egg on this card. And I watched a couple people talk about the Secret Lair. Only one person has picked up on it. And I didn't. I've definitely looked at this card. Have you noticed anything special about this that they haven't done in Magic the Gathering? And before you answer, thank you everybody for joining. You know, absolute pleasure to be here this evening, getting to chat with all you. So thank you very much for, joining with us.
I noticed that it's one of the first. I think it's only the second time in history of Magic's printing that they use the word he instead of the card's name.
So, red, white, blue. That's out of order for Wooburg, specifically because it's Captain America. Red, white, and blue.
Yeah, normally it's blue, red, white.
Yeah. Exactly. Coach, you're on it. This is a very interesting thing. No, Alejandro, unfortunately, these are not going to be in the Commander pre-con.
These are Secret Lairs, my guy.
Yeah.
Secret Lair, come on, get in there. Don't miss out. Limited quantity. Don't worry about it. Just set your alarm. It's going to sell out. It actually could sell out, but that's mostly sarcasm.
I'm gonna buy in. I am definitely gonna be hitting that $199 promo. That's my goal. I'm probably gonna be getting each one of these. I mean, that's solid math for me. And the card's pretty decent. I mean, I'm not a huge equipment kind of strategy player, but I do like the theme of this. You know, his shield bouncing around up to 1, 2, 3 times, and then being able to catch it. I like this. There's definitely some build around this. What are your thoughts, Matt?
I saw, I think it was TCG Player on Facebook. They sent a post out talking about the Holy Avenger. Is it the Holy Avenger? Nope. What's the Excalibur? That's the one. Excalibur. So Excalibur Sword of Eden is a 12 mana equipment, and apparently people were talking about they like the idea of using that with Captain America because it'll like ping somebody for 12 damage.
Oh, nice.
So it's normally
And I
it
mean,
costs 12 mana, but it costs a
yeah.
mana less for every historic permanent you control. And then equipped creature gets +10/+10 vigilance, and only equips for 2 to a legendary creature. But I guess obviously for him it would equip for free, and then he can unattach it to fling it.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
why. I was reading Coach's comment. He says, I think they did that for Guile in the Street Fighter layer. In my head, he said Street Finger layer.
That's a different. That's a different. That's a
Different
different.
thing. Yeah, that is actually a proxy card. Yeah, you can't get that one. But what about Sigarda's Aid? I mean, thematically, I really like the art for what they did on this one. Not the most incredible card in the world, but for one, it's kind of hard to hate this.
Again, Captain America, not really a huge. Like I don't know. He did, like I like Wolverine and Iron Man more than Captain America. So like, he's just kind of a. I don't know. He's just kind of a strong guy. Like this. He doesn't really have like any other powers. He's just strong guy punches things. It's kind of boring, you
And he
know.
doesn't even always punch him. Sometimes he just throws stuff at him. And then we've
I
got
don't dislike him, but it's just kind of like as far as superheroes go, he's kind of boring.
right. He's less super, very much so hero. We're not disregarding you there. We've got Flawless Maneuver, 2 and a white, instant speed. If you control your commander, it's free. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. I mean, solid. This was one of the lower cards out of the if you have your commander, they're free. But it's nice that it's still around. I've definitely used it a couple of times in games before, and it's definitely saved me. Both
I
going
mean, it's a
in
free
and out.
heroic intervention, basically. So,
Yeah.
my favorite creatures.
And it still triggers Kaikar, wins Fury. God, I'm gonna love saying that over and over. That's my Wakanda forever, Matt.
Ooh.
In the trenches, this is kind of a throwback artwork. The comic style that they did, the shading on this, it definitely pops. I like that. Not a very good card, in my opinion. This is definitely a lackluster addition to the Secret Lair. 1, 2 white for an enchantment. Creatures you control get 1/1. Pretty straightforward anthem effect. For 5 and a white, exile target non-land permanent you don't control until this leaves the battlefield. Only activate as a sorcery and only once. I mean, it's got a lot of downsides. This is a card I would cut very quickly from a deck.
Yeah, I don't know why this is here at all. It's pretty bad. It is a new card, though, right?
I do not believe so. This is, I think, actually a reprint of a just terrible card. I think the only new cards in all of these Secret Lair drops are the superheroes themselves. Those are the only mechanically unique cards. Everything else, I think, is a reprint.
Oh, it's from Brothers War. Huh.
And then Sword of War and Peace. It's interesting that they put this as
Shield.
the shield of War and Peace. I really dislike the flavor on this one. Gotta say, thumbs down. Hate what you did here. Straightforward enough though. 3 colorless for an equipment creature. Equipped creature gets 2/2 protection from red and white. Which is like, what are you doing? Why is that Captain America? That's not what it should be protection from.
He's getting protected from himself.
From himself. Yeah, right. Stop punching yourself. Why? It doesn't hurt. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, this equipment deals to that player equal to the number of cards in their hand, and you gain 1 life for each card in your hand. Now, do not get me wrong. It is a solid card. I just do not like the look or like the re-theming aspect they did.
Yeah, I was looking up Miss Bumbleflower because that's a deck that Wakanda was in, and I came across $1,139 Secret Lair card, and I didn't even know this existed. But there's a Snapcaster Mage that's
Ooh,
over It's like almost $1,000 card. It's like it depends on. It's like 800 to 1,000
And
for a
I
Snapcaster.
remember
Secret
people
Lair.
joking about, oh, I need to make my car payment. I'm going to sell my Snapcasters. Well, I guess that could have actually still been a thing.
Well, this is because it's like it's Miku. I think it's one of the
Miku
Miku
Hatsune.
Secret Lairs.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, this is crazy to me that it's $1,000. Just really,
And
you never know what card's going to be ridiculously priced.
that's a great point. And again, one of the reasons why I'm doing the shotgun effect on this one. Same thing, $39.99. If you want the rainbow foils, they're $50.
Also, if you notice, these are more expensive than most Secret Lairs. Normally, they're $29.99, $39.99. They're $10 more.
What up, Rosie?
It's probably the Marvel tax. I'll be honest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you could charge $10 more, would you not charge $10?
Well, I'm sure MTG is paying a ton of money for the licensing for this.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're just passing that on to us, of course.
Yeah. And then, speaking of passing things on to us, Matt, why don't you read this one out?
Yeah, Iron Man, Titan of Innovation, 5 mana for a 4/4 flying haste. Whenever Iron Man attacks, create a treasure token. Then you may sacrifice a non-creature artifact. If you do, search your library for an artifact card with value +1 of the sacrificed artifact's mana value. Put it on the battlefield, tapped, then shuffle. I like this because it's a tutor effect for artifacts, which surely they didn't. They need more of those. But it creates the artifact or creates the token. If you have nothing, it creates the treasure, which allows you to sacrifice that and then get a 1-drop. It starts the chain
engine, right built onto the card.
It's kind of like a. Oh, my mind's blanking on that green card. Fuck. There's a green card that allows you to sack a creature and you go get a +1. It's a birthing pod.
Food chain.
No, birthing pod.
Oh yeah.
Food chain just gives you mana. Birthing pod allows you to sacrifice a creature and go get something that has 1 greater CMC. So this is that for artifacts in blue red.
And I mean, flying haste, I definitely love that right away you're getting the payoff. As soon as it hits the battlefield, you got that action going. And I mean, again, I think this is really good crossover artwork for it too. That they went borderless on it. They pulled no punches on this. I like it. It is a little bit hard to read though. And I mean the artwork itself. You see Iron Man. I don't know what's going on in the background. There's some swirling stuff. Looks cool. Very Marvel. That it looks cool, but I have no idea what's going on.
Well, all of he's suiting up. So all the pieces are flying around, so they're it's all fast and shit.
Beams of light and yeah.
Right. So I mean it makes sense. I don't like that the mask isn't like down. So it looks strange as fuck that he's like I know that's like mid suit. Yeah, I don't love the artwork. The artwork looks like colorfully, it looks appealing as like to the eye, but then when you like drill down into like what the actual content is, I'm kind of like, it doesn't like thrill me a ton. Like I like the full suit of Iron Man better.
So does this galvanic blast? 1 red, instant, 2 damage to any target. If you have 3 or more artifacts, it does 4 damage instead. And he's got the shield down. He's got the full face. Is this a bit more to your style? Is this a good reprint as well for you?
Well, Galvanic Blast is okay. I mean, it's obviously only good in artifact decks. If you don't play a ton of artifacts, it's really not great. It's just shock. It's not bad because it's just shock, but yeah, I mean, it's an answer generically for any target, which is great. So more people need to run more removal. I like this a lot better.
Speaking of reasons you need to run removal, we've got Commander's Plate. For 1 colorless equipment, equipped creature gets 3/3 protection from every color that's not in your commander's identity. Equipped creature for 3, equip commander for 3, or equip for 5. I mean, this is a very solid card.
I like running Commander's Plate in monocolor or some. I mean, dual color is okay, but in monocolor decks or in colorless commander decks, like Zula Duck, for instance, Commander's Plate and Zula Duck just give protection for all colors because it's a colorless commander.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really like that, doing stuff like that. So Commander's Plate in a 2-color deck, not as good, but still fine, depending on the color. Like Animar, for instance, he has protection from black and white, which is the most common removal colors, so it makes
Mm.
that a very powerful effect. So stuff like that, Commander's Plate would be great as well. So it's basically
And it's
the Animar basically has Commander's Plate built into him, which is
and
hilarious.
interesting thing, Commander's Plate's like $30 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another aspect we have not really covered a whole lot as we've been going over these. Again, prices are $40 for the base, 50 for the fancy. Now, some of these cards are upwards of 20, $30 on these. So it's going to be very interesting to see if, because these are supposed to be a limited quantity, again, secret layers do not seem to really affect card prices with the reprint
Yeah,
aspect.
there's not enough of printed to
Yeah,
really.
so I think that, this Commander's Play could be quite expensive. What up, Time Capsule?
Yo,
And Soul Ring.
I
I
love
mean,
the Soul
why
Ring.
not?
It's good. You can't beat it.
It's
We
it's
need
great.
another printing of Soul Ring. We don't have enough.
Well, so they're not going to ban it, right?
Surely.
This is one of the most powerful mono producing artifacts that we have in all of Magic the Gathering. And now it looks fancy as shit. I mean, if you're playing this as your commander, you've got to have this as your Soul Ring. I mean, come on. It literally powers him. Like in both the Marvel universe, you need the arc reactor to power the suit, but you also need Soul Ring to power so many decks. So I love that there's that crossover as well.
It's not my favorite printing of Soul Ring. There's obviously there. You know how many printings of Soul Ring there are?
Oh, probably like 100.
You're
Guess
close.
in the comment section. Let us know in the comment section how many different versions there are of Soul Ring. Are we counting foil and non-foil? Are we doing that BS, Matt?
No. Like actual printings of Soul Ring, not counting foil, non-foil. Unique printings of Soul Ring. Well, I wouldn't say unique. Some of these are somewhat duplicated because of
I'm doing it. I'm guessing exactly 100.
I don't know what I would have guessed because I already know the answer, so it's kind of hard. I would have guessed at least 50 plus, probably 100. I think it's a
Give
fair
it
answer.
a little bit. Give it like 1 minute. Put in a chat. Chat. Let us know what your guess is. I'm guessing 100. How many different versions of Soul Ring are there? And this is going to be one of the ones I'm interested in having.
Yeah, my favorite Soul Ring art is probably whatever this one is. What is this one? Secret Lair. It's another Secret Lair. Go figure. Secret Lair drop what? Number 1494. I think it's Lord of the Rings, but I couldn't tell you. Whatever. They don't tell you what it is in Scryfall. It just says
right. It's just SLD. Yeah.
It just says Secret Lair 1494. Whatever that one is. But it's got like a crown and it's got like this fiery galactic background, like this cloud.
Ooh,
Looks really cool.
Okay. I think for me, honestly, the
what is this? Commander Masters.
where were they? The inventions. I think that those were some of the most beautiful cards. The Kaladesh inventions there, those phenomenal. I don't care, the price tag is deserving of such a gorgeous card.
Oh god, watching Gogeta say "I'm evil" reminded me of I was listening to Commander. Is it just Commander? Well, it's called Commander Clash, but the Saffron Olive podcast that they do. Saffron Olive was reading a comment from one of the videos, and what did he call him? He called Vegeta the craziest name I've ever Vegeta. What did he called it like something completely like what the fuck did you just say?
Oh yeah. Just like
instead of Vegeta, it was just like
the thing you say in your head is not the thing everybody else says out loud.
He didn't know who Vegeta was. He never watched Dragon Ball Z. He had no clue who Vegeta was.
Speaking of saying things out loud, Matt, I think we've held on bated breath long enough. How many different Soul Rings are there?
The Scryfall says 97, but I would say that like when I'm scrolling through, I see duplication of a lot of these cards. Like I see two, I don't know why, but I see two Soul Rings of like the Fallout guy doing the thumbs up. So there's two different versions of that. It might be counting foil, non-foil, so it actually might be closer to like 60 to 70. If I'm
Wow,
scrolling
that's actually a
down,
little bit that's notably lower than I was expecting. I mean, I was figuring 100, and here we've
no,
got another
there's
one.
duplications.
Speaking of
That's
heavily,
including that one.
including that one.
Yeah, it's already on Scryfall.
So we've got Inventor's Lair, a legendary land. I don't think I've ever heard of this card.
Really?
And
Oh, I play this card. It's great.
At the beginning of your upkeep, oh, there's no mana cost on the. Okay, keep going, Pat.
It's a
Legendary
land.
land. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain a life. Tap 1 colorless, 4, and tap. Sacrifice this. Search your library for an artifact card. Reveal it. Put it in your hand. Shuffle. Activate only if you have 3 or more artifacts. Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you've never built an artifact deck, or if you don't really love artifact decks, you probably would have never seen this card. But in artifact-centric decks, this card's like an auto-include.
Hey, what up, Hillbilly?
A little bit of life gain, taps for colorless, which you're playing most colorless cards. A tutor on a land is always fantastic.
Yeah, I can't knock it. And you get that little bit of life gain effect. So
It doesn't say activate as a sorcery, which is a fucking win for me.
And oh, look at this. This is a gorgeous treasure token, absolutely thematic. And what I really like about this, Matt, is that the commander, Iron Man, makes a treasure whenever he attacks. And he's got haste. So you're doing this very frequently. And this is an absolute gorgeous card to have as your treasure.
I don't like it.
I absolutely adore that we have such varied opinions. And what is distasteful to you on this?
Because if you think about it thematically, like you just said, that when he comes on the battlefield, he creates a mask. Why? Why is he? So if you have like 15 masks, it's not a treasure anymore. That's a commodity.
No,
like,
that's
a treasure to me should be something that's like limited
if I had one, it'd be a treasure. If I had 50 of these, that would just be a lot of treasure. Tony Stark's like, crazy rich, right?
I don't think his mask is a treasure. It has no power. It has no.
Bro,
I guess maybe it's symbolism.
Red stuff is red gold.
I don't know. I don't like it. I think it should have been something different.
Maybe it's not expensive treasure because it's only $40 and $50. Again, we're seeing a thematic thing here. Should have been a full suit of armor. That would have been a little bit more luxurious. That's a good point there. Now, speaking
even if it's just his power core, because that's something like the mask isn't something that he really invented. That's just a mask. But like something technology where it's like an actual treasure, his power core, his I don't know, his blaster, his little like thingy on his wrist or palm. I don't know, something. It just his mask is boring. I don't know. I don't like it.
Now, right here, we've got a pretty I mean, not superbly equipped type of superhero. This right here, she doesn't need a whole lot of gadget.
She's hot. I don't care what she does. I don't even know what the card does, but I'm in. The art is great.
Oh, dude. This is honestly, I wish I were getting a bunch of these because this ticks a lot of boxes right here. I mean, artwork, hi cha-cha. This is a good looking gal. Along with that, it's very Storm from X-Men. I mean, this is a gorgeous looking crossover. They did our girl right here. Along with that, I mean, we're just checking more boxes right here. Look at this combination of colors. For one, a green, a blue, and a red. You're getting a 3/4 legendary mutant hero. Flying Vigilance right there. Love the flying portion of this.
Holy shit, her ability is nuts.
Yeah, I know. Whenever Storm deals combat damage to a player, the next instant or sorcery you cast this turn has Storm.
That's actually crazy.
Okay, again, Matt, I just want to make sure I'm reading this correctly. This is a new card to Magic Gathering. Brand new card. They are printing new Storm cards. And what's kind of crazy is, well, I mean, she's giving stuff Storm. Storm is giving Storm.
Yeah.
So she's giving to any other card in Magic Gathering Storm. As Cosmic Seed, right here, seeing the same thing I am. She's going to be broken.
So here's the thing.
Tell me the thing.
She is and she isn't.
Okay.
It's nice that she has evasion. Obviously, if she didn't have flying, she'd be trash. Honestly, that actually is 100%.
So I mean,
so here's the problem. Here's the play pattern. This is what you do. You play a couple cards before combat. Then you have to go to combat. Then it has to connect. If it doesn't connect, all of the things you did in the first main phase do nothing for the payoff for the second main phase. So her big payoff is that you have to cast a couple things prior to combat because
It's set
because
up payoff.
right.
Yeah.
If she doesn't deal the combat damage, then she doesn't have the payoff, which is
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing I don't like. There's contingencies that are like kind of like a hurdle you have to jump over. Now, the problem is the reason why I say it's a problem where you have to cast the stuff beforehand is because most likely in these colors you're going to be playing instants and sorceries, a lot of them. So like you have to kind of cast them first because the first card, the next instant sorcery has storm. So you can't like get her ability on the stack and then like cast a bunch of stuff to cast the storm because
Right.
then it wouldn't work. So like it's weird because you have to cast a bunch of stuff beforehand. So if you cast all that stuff and you're like, it's gonna be sick, but your opponents know it's so telegraphed.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's powerful, but like it's one of those like fairy tale where like I actually think in play this is not going to be that
probably
great.
Won't be as broken as people think it's going to be.
Oh, it's going to be broken. You have to if you do because you're in blue, you have counter spells, so like you can protect it. But storming off with your counter spells ain't great.
Like crazy. I mean, storming a cultivate, that's kind of craziness. And so to Time Capsule's remark here saying banhammer incoming, I think
no shot.
No, for two separate reasons. One, this won't be nearly as broken as people are seeing. Like I first thought, Matt, you've got a good eye on it. So thank you much for that. But second big point for why I don't think they'll ban this card is they've paid way too much to get the rights to print it. So I think it would definitely do them injustice. If anything, the One Ring is a bigger problem than this would be. Yeah.
It's not strong enough to merit a ban. So the reason why they ban cards isn't necessarily even based on power. If it was based on power, like Animar would be banned, or even not even just Animar. Like if you go to like EDH Rec and you go to like the top commanders, Atraxa, one of the best commanders in the game. Like literally, it is the top commander, and it has been the top commander, rank 1 since like it's been printed. It hasn't been banned. Hasn't even talked about ban. It's not even on the watch list. They don't even give two flips about it. It's not about power level. It's more about how it affects the game state. How like the reason why Nadu was banned wasn't necessarily that it was super powerful. It was that it created a gameplay loop that most people just didn't enjoy playing and playing against. So like it created this air of like, am I gonna win? Am I not gonna win? Well, in 20 minutes we'll find out. That's the problem. That's the reason why they ban cards. It's not necessarily based on straight up power.
Speaking of not something that is getting banned, Lightning Bolt. I mean, it's a classic card. Do not get me wrong. She looks like a rock and roll kind of chick right here. But I am kind of surprised to see a reprinting of Lightning Bolt.
It's fine. I don't like the art that much. I don't like bald chicks. I mean, she's not like fully bald, but like I don't the whole like afro. What is that called? Not the afro. Is
Mohawk.
Mohawk. That's the one. I'm not a big fan of it on a chick. On a guy, it looks all right. On a girl,
Now, what about this? Jessica's Will, Storm's Will. Now, I love that this looks almost exactly like Jessica's Will does. The artwork on this, you know, they really did just the least amount of work to be able to make this a different card.
It really is super close to the original. It does look better.
At least you know what you're getting with it.
Kinda.
Like that's one of the problems with a lot of Secret Lairs is you have no idea what the card is. This is exactly Jessica's Will. It just says something else on the top.
Yeah, Jessica's Will is fantastic. Like it's a $20 card right there. That's a solid
interesting,
reprint.
Matt, that this is in the same Secret Lair as Storm. So you could actually storm Jessica's Will. You could Storm's Will.
Sure. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like I said, she will have very high highs and probably a lot of plays that are like mediocre.
And you know, price wise, I think this is a phenomenal addition to the Secret Lair. Ice Storm. Now, this is definitely one of the ones that they you know, bunted. This was not a home run. For 2 and a green, sorcery speed, destroy target land.
This is a reprint from Alpha.
Alpha.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's probably expensive right now, but actually a shitty card.
It's $30+. Well, actually, collector's edition. The international collector's at $36. So unlimited edition is $55.
So, are you telling me
how is this not reserve list? That's crazy to me. This is such an old card that's never been reprinted.
So what I like about this, and it's interesting, Matt, that this is from so long ago in our time, in Magic the Gathering's history, in the years that have gone by. If you look at the X-Men in the background, those are like the 90s X-Men. So this is from the same time. Those people are themed as the same time as when this was last printed. That is an awesome tie-in.
That's pretty
I think
cool.
both of these secret layers have been just thematically a huge home run for me as a giant nerd.
Yeah, like I've watched X-Men when I was younger. I watched like Fantastic Four. Like I like Marvel. It's just I mean, Storm definitely does it for me. She good looking, good thematic cards.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
happy
Oh
with
yeah.
that. Iron Man was good. I don't know Wakanda. That doesn't really do anything for me.
And we've got Manamorphose as well with Aurora Borealis. Ooh, interesting. Add 2 mana in any combination of colors, draw a card. And like we were saying before, if you get Storm to trigger Manamorphose, you are doing so much work. I mean, if you get 3, 4 copies of this, okay, cool. Now you're getting 8 mana and 4 cards. Like you're just going gangbusters.
What's wrong with her hair? Why is it like being blown off? What's happening?
It's all
She's like
storming around.
no. Look at it's like attached to her like middle of her head.
No, you're super right. I see a lot of like
There's a lot of baldness going on. She's like
yeah.
bald with like like a glued on hair thing at the back. Like doesn't make any like what's happening? The art on this card is really strange to me. I'm not convinced that it's
Same price points, you know, $39.99, $49.99. Now, what are you thinking here, Matt? Wolverine, best there is. Is it the best there is? What's your read him out and let me know what you think about him.
now the interesting thing about Wolverine is we had gotten this was one of the cards that was leaked, right? Was this the same? Was this the same? What I wanted to know was this the same one that was leaked? Wolverine MTG.
So
leaked.
Wolverine, best there is. 1, a red and a green for a 2/2 mutant berserker hero.
Okay, it is. So it is accurate.
So Ryan, these are new Secret Lair cards. These are Magic the Gathering cards that are all crossovers from Marvel. So they're doing a collaboration. Not
No, these
leaked.
aren't leaked. These are actual full on.
Yeah.
These are the official announcements. They were leaked before. Somebody had leaked like the original, like a Wolverine. I think Iron Man was one of them. I don't think Storm was. It was Wolverine. Why is it only showing one of them? But anyway, there was 4 of them that was leaked. It wasn't Storm, which is interesting.
Now, what are your thoughts on here? You know, he starts out it as a 2/2. You're doubling any damage that he would deal. So it's an interesting wording on that. It's not just combat damage, but you could set up some like Viridian Longbow. Is that what it is? Where you can kind of ping off damage and it'll trigger the 1/1 counter generation on it. I'm not a huge fan of regenerate, but
I don't like it.
You regenerate for 0. That would have been really thematic. Regenerate for 0. Come on.
This is a very boring card to me. No trample, no haste, no double strike, no keywords at all. It only triggers the end of combat. It only puts one singular one counter on them. You have to pay
double strike. Double all damage you would deal. That's better than double strike, right?
Right, but it doesn't. It should just have double strike too. Like double strike. This should have double strike, trample, double all damage he deals. That's like I don't know. Like it's boring. You have to pay
the regenerate seems
the regenerate's too expensive
on as like an afterthought on how to manage it. I do not have like having to pay 1 in a green to be able to do it. Like this, he's undying.
This should have enrage. Every time it deals damage, it gets a 1/1 counter. It shouldn't be at the beginning of end step get one singular 1/1 counter on him. That's boring. That's so slow.
It feels like a miss, and at
best, each end step, I guess, but I don't know.
Now, what about Berserk?
There might be some combo with this that's busted, but I don't think so.
Right, we'll have to see it. Yeah, haste. Yeah, there you go. Haste. He loves being first in the field. Now, speed.
He's always running
first in the field. We've got an instant for 1 green. You get Berserk. Cast only before the combat damage step. Target creature gains trample and Exo until end of turn, where X is its power. At the beginning of the next end step, destroy that creature if it attacked this turn. Oh, let's just not.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's so niche, and it's a one-trick pony. Like, this is pretty much happening one time. And for this to be included in the same thing here, like, you're just burning through your deck to be able to make this card like worth it to like chug.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I've never been across the table of somebody playing Berserk.
Yeah, I think that we are going to continue that trend, though, is that we are not going to see that across the table.
Probably not.
Maybe it's just a rite of passage. You know, maybe you're paying 2 and a green for an enchantment, and creatures you control, whenever they're dealt damage, put a 1/1 counter on it. I mean, it's fine.
This should be what he has on him, just generically.
Right. Yes, exactly. It's just built into him. Like, give him some juice there. And we've got Rhythm of the Wild. I mean, this is a great card to have in that deck. Do not get me wrong. I think this combination of cards work together very well, but it's just a bit lackluster. I mean, Rhythm of the Wild, great card. You see it in a lot of good decks. Enchantment for 1, a green and a red. Creatures you control can't be countered. Non-token creatures you control have Riot. It's pretty solid. Yeah, exactly, Viva Mexico. It's good in other decks, and that's definitely where I'm seeing it as well. Now,
Rhythm of the Wild is the card that I play in my my new what you call it, Wild Seer Cascade Commander or Cascade Enchantment deck. I play Rhythm of the Wild there.
Yeah, we've got the Adamantium Bonding Tank. Now, this is a reskinning, of Ozolith. I mean, pretty straightforward. We should all know what it does. But artifact, whenever a creature leaves the battlefield, if it have counters, put it on this at the beginning of combat, take them off of this, put them onto a target creature. Great card, still running about $30. So I think it is still a good reason for people to be looking at this Secret Lair. Some of the things that are coming with it, as disinteresting as I find the commander, I think that these are solid additions to this Secret Lair drop.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will go through and do the value of each Secret Lair and do all the work for me. So I'm not really too worried about rushing to do it myself. But from the get-go so far, it does seem like each one has like a card that's worth $20-$30. So with the first printing of Storm, that one right there, the cards that have a first printing of a card, I'll probably almost certainly buy.
All of these have a first printing of the card.
Yeah, that seems, you know, it seems like a good way to or a good strategy to buy at least one of each one that has a new printing. That actually is a good card, of course.
All right, bub, it's time to brawl.
And yeah, Ozolith is a fantastic card. I played in a couple decks. Anything that cares about counters. There's my one dinosaur deck that I forgot what was his name. It's been a little while since I've played him. Yeah, you sacrifice and get a bunch of counters, when he enters the battlefield, you discard a bunch of cards and you get all the counters that are on those cards, or all the taglines. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. All of them except for the Black Panther one are pretty good. If I had to rate them on like most like coolest, I would say Storm first.
Oh, right.
Iron Man is a close second, and then probably Captain America, then Wolverine, and then the Black Panther for like my interest in any of them.
I think Storm, she's quite interesting to me. Number of reasons, not just two forefront big old reasons. Very interesting card. I like that color combination. That's definitely something
the art's fantastic.
Not built in. And I mean, like you said, it takes a little bit of set up before you get the payoff. So I like the work you have to do for it, but it can be such a high ceiling. And I mean, realistically, your floor, you're still getting a Storm if it hits. So that's pretty much my number one. As far as
what's crazy about this is there can be setups, there can be turns that, like, okay, say you set up a little bit. It requires a little bit of mana, but you're in green, so it's not a big deal. So say you like play 2 spells before combat, and you're like, then you got like say 8 mana, and you're like ready to play like a haymaker. As long as this connects, you're like, I'm gonna pop the fuck off. and then somebody's like, "Well, I'm gonna kill your commander." That adds another storm count. They're casting another spell. And if you counterspell, that adds another storm count, which is now you're up to 4.
Yeah,
And
right.
then
Yeah.
when you finally hit the deal the combat damage, when you're like you've protected her, then you get to like pop off even harder. So like when somebody goes to try to remove them, they're just helping fuel you as long as you've got the answer. So when you play the card, you have to make sure that you can protect her. Counter spells, heroic intervention, stuff like that. Really cheap answers that allow you to consistently do this. Because if you can't do this, the deck does nothing, or deck does very little. But the colors are fantastic. Teamer is one of the best color combinations in Magic. So
yeah, that Arc Reactor Soul Ring, I think absolutely. This is a gorgeous card. It reminds me a lot of what they did with the Fallout Soul Ring. It was like the New Vegas chip kind of looking thing, the big ring they had. This is a great thematic crossover for me for the Marvel Universe, as is I mean, it's his soul ring. It's SOUL. Like, there's so many different reasons that this is solid. This entire series, outside, I'll be honest, of the Wakanda Super drop here, this Black Panther Secret Lair does not really do it for me. But there are some great cards in it. Again, I'm not super missing out on this as the commander. I think this is a great ad for the 99. This goes right into my Trellisara deck. This is tops. Very good. And the cards you're getting along with it, Secure the Waste, this goes right in it as well. I mean, Primal Vigor, Heroic Intervention, Karn's Bastion, these are all great ads. Yeah, I gotta say, this is some of the most excited I've been for Magic the Gathering purchase anticipation for me. I don't think I've looked forward to spending a couple $100 on any Magic the Gathering product most of this year. So yeah, it got me in a good mood for tonight's show, Matt. And thank you everybody else for joining. I'm glad I could share some of my excitement with y'all out there.
yeah, it's good. Secret Lairs are kind of one of those things. I actually would have rather had a Marvel set than a Secret Lair. I think it's a big enough IP, and there's tons of different inspirations that could be pulled from all kinds of different Marvel. Basically, what I would like to have things that I don't know about Marvel show up. You know, like heroes that I've never heard of, or like just utilizing things like I don't know. I know all of the people that they said, so it's kind of like I don't know. It's a little boring. It's not bad.
Now, we do have a little bit more Marvel news as well, man.
Whoa.
Spider-Man has been announced for a full set, it looks like, coming out next year.
Why?
There's not a lot of information about it. It's just the name and the year. But it seems as though they're doing like a whole kind of set.
I don't like that. Well,
Yeah.
I guess there's enough in Spider-Man where you could do a.
It's
Why not just do it on the whole Marvel IP?
Specifically, it's a set here. Just says Magic the Gathering, Marvel's Spider-Man slings cards from across the Spider-Verse into your favorite decks.
Can you imagine if they tried to do another like mini set? It might work with Spider-Man.
I think that this would be a good time to do similar, like how they did with the Fortnite Secret Lair.
I'm talking about March of the Machine, like that kind of situation.
Expansion, you know? Oh, if they did like an Aftermath kind of thing, or just a mini set, I think that, you know, honestly,
it might work with Spider-Man.
That mini set, that would be interesting. You know, super small selection of cards. They don't give it the full treatment, but it's its own singular product line. Could be an interesting way to handle that one.
Yeah. Is there any other breaking news?
As far as Marvel stuff, no, but you did hear about the Commander non-disparagement stuff, right?
No.
Okay, let me see if I can pull this up. So our good friend Gavin Duggan, a friend of the channel here, known better online as Genomancer, he actually broke some news how Wizards of the Coast has proposed to people that are going to be joining the committee that is going to be making rules for Commander at Wizards of the Coast, have been asked to sign a lifelong non-disparagement agreement so that they could never talk ill about Wizards of the Coast or Magic at large.
What the fuck? Why? What kind of dumbass shit is that? That ain't
Yeah.
gonna pass. There ain't no way that flies.
Yeah, so pardon me while I type out and do some searching here real quick.
Yeah, there ain't no way that flies. No chance. You ain't gonna get like if they can't speak freely about their viewpoint on a product that comes out, then I don't trust their decisions at all. Well, NDAs are fine. There's a difference between
Exactly, and that is
NDA is like I can't talk about it at all until they give me the go ahead.
right.
This is talking about like you can't talk ill about it. You can't like say like I dislike that. I hate that. That's different. You can't give your opinion on a product because you're part of some fucking committee or some shit. That seems that there ain't no way that flies. The community ain't gonna let that happen. They're gonna rage about that.
And here we go. Just a moment. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to do a bit of resizing on it. We're doing this hot and live, folks.
It's breaking news. You heard it here first. It's not true. You didn't hear her first.
No, this is actually.
You might have heard it. You might have heard it her first. Heard it here first. Talking is difficult. Okay, words are.
This is actually from 3 days ago. Not even 3 full days. So there you go. Again, this is from Genomancer on X, formerly known as Twitter. Looking for input. Vendor contract for the commander panel includes surviving a non-disparagement clause. Yeah, exactly. Just in those words. I don't mind the NDC, but I'm uncomfortable with it in perpetuity. Yeah. I mean, that's
so. Let's dive into what that actually means. We're gonna read the specific definition of a non-disparagement clause.
Yeah.
A non-disparagement clause is a contractual agreement that prevents one or more parties from making negative statements about another party. These clauses are often used in employment contracts, severance agreements, and settlement agreements. A non-disparagement clause can prohibit a variety of behaviors, including defaming, libeling. What is a libeling? What is libeling? Libeling. This is the word.
Libeling is to make someone
to defame somebody
involved for an action or like set of occurrences.
So it's the same as defaming. They're just for some reason using another word.
No, that's a different.
Well, no, because the word the definition of libel is to defame. It's the same fucking word, dude. Anyways, libel. Anyways, or slander the other party, placing the other party in a false light. That could be anything. It's so broad. Impairing the other party's goodwill, again, very broad. Making oral or written statements that are disparaging, again, very broad.
Oh, so
emailing, texting, or posting disparaging comments on social media, yeah, again, very broad. Can't talk bad about anything they do. Fuck that. I'm out.
Yo,
ain't no way.
Yeah, you know, honestly, like a somebody, even if it were an NDA, even if it were just a lifelong NDA, you can never talk about the things that went on behind these closed curtains. That would be less heinous of an ask. This right here, to have a non-disparagement clause for a lifelong agreement to participate in this, I am just blown away with the gall of these folks. Like this is a lot.
I don't think anybody should have an NDC.
No,
I think you should be free to talk. Slander's a bit different. Like you're like fuck those people, and you're like on the committee. That is a little strange. Like that's like me like talking about negatively about my company that I currently work for, like and like just constantly blasting them on social media, but then still working for them. That I kind of get that. But so it is a little like, I guess it's a little. It's not in perpetuity. Is it's. So are they saying that even if you leave the committee, you still can't talk shit about them? Fuck that. There ain't no way I'd sign that. Ain't no way.
So what's really interesting to me, the vendor contract for the commander panel. I'm not exactly sure who that's aimed at. If it's people on the commander panel, those are people that work at Wizards of the Coast, if I'm not incorrect. I mean, because they are now the people that make Commander rules. If the Commander panel is their internal employees, this is just one of those things like, oh man, I would never want to work for that company. And it's not like Cynthia Williams, when she left, started talking smack about Hasbro or WotC at large. So I don't think that that's something we've ever really had to worry about in their, stewardship of the company. But this is egregious. Like, this is pretty well fucked, in my personal opinion. Yeah, so as far as Magic the Gathering news, we had a great hour of really high highs. It felt like storming off. And then we got, they've made some mistakes. They're getting better at selling me products, though, Matt. So I got to give them, credit where it's due. This portion seems very mistake driven, but I mean, I'll take some Iron Man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. The NDC, there's like, I'm reading like on Reddit right now about some of the comments that people are, Reddit's one of those great sources of information, but it is a decent way to get like community feedback to see like how people are reacting to it. Somebody says it seems unenforceable and likely will fail in court. Then other people are saying like, who's likely to take WotC to court? Fair. It's a lot of time and money and resources to go to try to like to be able to talk shit again. It's
Right.
very strange.
I don't know how they would pursue it, if it's going to be in a court law, if
The
someone
Pinkertons.
contract, and like to what point, it's that's even worse look for WotC. Someone speaks out that worked with them, and then Wizards of the Coast, sets suit against them. Oh yeah, that's going to look great. Someone has some juicy news because they worked with Wizards of the Coast and then get sued for it. I mean, it's one thing when they screwed up having their product get out too early, but then to send the Pinkertons to go and like retrieve it, this just feels like another, I'm gonna fuck up. Yeah, hold my beer. Exactly. That's.
Oh, Pat, good news. My sorcery box has arrived in Ohio, in Cincinnati.
Well, that's, you don't live there.
No, I don't live in Cincinnati, but that means that it's in the country. That's the biggest hurdle. Whenever you order something from out of the country, getting locked in customs is the worry. But it's already past that. It's in Ohio. It's in my state, so it'll be here in the next day or two. Well, it'll definitely be here before you arrive. So we'll be able to try sorcery. I know that. Yeah. Which is a face? What's his nuts? Not Benson. Not time capsule.
Cosmic.
No, is it Cosmic? Who loves sorcery? Is it? I'm terrible with names.
Who loves sorcery? Yeah.
It's Solar God. That's the guy. It's none of those people. It's Solar God. I had to remember. Yeah, so that'll be here. So that'll be on the channel. We'll have that. And something that I was going to tell Bob, but Bob's not here. I was going to tell him that when you come down and we're in together doing stuff, one of the things that I would like to do is I would like to play a game of not sorcery. I would like to play a game of Lorcana with Bob and you, and playing against the Ursula thing.
Oh,
my first time ever playing Lorcana.
My man.
Hell yeah.
I'd like doing that, Matt. Getting together, doing some Lorcana.
I've never played a game of Lorcana in my life, so it'll be
it's gonna be.
Don't get me wrong. I don't plan to play anymore. But what I would like to do is try the game. Just like I'm willing to try sorcery, I'm willing to try Lorcana. I'm gonna keep calling it Lorcana just to trigger people. Lorcanta. I
know how to say Kamala's name. I'm just not doing it. Lorcana's not bad. Like, it's enjoyable enough. It's just that one of the things, and I know that just between me, Matt, and all y'all out there, I do like that cards have value. And unfortunately, with Lorcana, there just like isn't any of that aspect. And they made it very apparent to us when we talked with their rep in Indy last year that they wanted to print the cards as much as possible. It was not going to be a rare product for people. Except for the outset, they've definitely stuck with that. Cheers, tip of my hat to you and all. But I want there to be a little bit more drive in it. And that's one of the things why I think those secret lairs were so interesting to me, is because there is that monetary value. There is that, hustle to it.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
want to talk about another IP, another
Oh.
product that was rampant and very controversial in the gaming community at a certain point. And this is a product that recently went bankrupt and then is now coming back.
Oh no.
It's funny. I
That
can't
is
explain what
part
I
two.
can't explain why I give a shit, to be honest. I really can't.
I don't get it either, but I like that we're sticking with this. Heart of
So
the cards, you.
I've never even played a game of MetaZoo, and I've bought one single product of MetaZoo. I can't even tell you why I did it. I think it was just like one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I'll buy one from Rudy. Rudy had like a little kit, and it looked like a good deal. So I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll buy one. It was like $200 or something, and then of course the game went bankrupt a couple months later. That's my luck. My luck seems to be pretty bad when I buy stuff from Rudy. That's not true. That's not true. I got one of these bad boys. This is the Lord of the Rings special edition collector box. That was I bought that for like $250, and that's like $800-900. So, anyways, so if you're not familiar with MetaZoo was a game that was kind of like a little trolly. I don't know if it's trolly. The meta was like that. Like the world around you changed how your cards play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if it's raining outside,
it was like Pokemon. It was like Pokemon-esque, like as far as like the visuals, like the art wasn't like amazing. It wasn't like super cool. Some of the cards are cool, but
true Pokemon cards.
Yeah, and like say like if it's like raining outside and you can see clouds, like your monster would get like +1 or whatever. Like that's actually legit. Like that's how the card was played. So it had like funny tropes to it, and it was kind of more of like a casual, fun, whatever game. So none of that really necessarily matters. But we went bankrupt. The people that were running the company, they sucked at running the company. So GameCubator Labs. The reason why I'm even interested about this at all,
I love that crossover. See how interesting this was? Yeah, it went bankrupt
but I don't think it was because of the game. Like Pokemon. Let's be honest, Pokemon. I don't get what people like about Pokemon. Like like collecting them all, I guess, could be a thing. But like at the end of the day, the gameplay of the game is dog shit. So like
that's the thing. There are two people that are the target audience for Pokemon as far as people who purchase it. It's children. They don't know how to play. They don't play any games. Like they just look at the cards and they throw them in the trash. Adults that just love the collectability aspect because sealed product goes up, and there are some cards that are super duper rare, so they're worth a bunch. So like nobody is actually targeted as like playing the game. So I don't think power creep's even an issue because nobody gives a shit about turning.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't even think anybody ever plays the game. They just collect the cards, which is fine. That's cool.
I don't know if you can play the game.
I think to me, I think Pokemon pulls on the nostalgia strings far too much. But anyways, so the thing that's cool about this is it failed under poor leadership, poor guidance from the company that currently had MetaZoo. They went bankrupt. They sold it for about $2 million in court. There was like a bidding. There was a guy that bought it. So
he also bought their debt.
The thing that's interesting about this is that this is GameCubator Labs. This is the people that bought it, and MetaZoo partnership. MetaZoo is like the name they used as the corporation or the LLC in order to buy MetaZoo. You have to have like an LLC, I think, or maybe they just did it because it was like legalese or some kind of legal crap in order to make the purchase. MetaZoo might be the new name. It's unclear.
This is some shell game shit.
So I'm just gonna read this because it's not too long. So this is Rick Ahrens, who's the CEO of GameCubator Labs. I was lucky enough to join Wizards of the Coast under the guidance of Peter Atkinson at the dawn of Magic the Gathering. Through tournaments, conventions, magazines, and more, Magic found thousands of people who love it. Some of these people are still playing today, and they have millions of new people that play with, or millions of people new to play with. Together, we popularized the trading card game, and is known to be believing in the gathering, the meetings of gamers and hobbies and spaces. In 2002, I joined the Pokemon Company, where I was blessed to spend nearly 2 decades as the executive vice president, working with some of the best to deliver another beloved trading card game, Pokemon TCG. I watched the Pokemon TCG take the world by storm as it hit the U.S., pull back into the mid-2000s, and then find its footing and grow to become one of the most beloved entertainment properties in the world. For me, Pokemon has always been about the fun, incredible quality, and never-ending dedication to the TCG industry and its growth. From my experiences, I learned the importance of several things, but above all, I learned the power of humanity to deliver games that matter. At Gamecubator Labs, humanity is not just an influence, it's our whole objective. In many ways, we are new. Our name is likely new to you. Our team is working in combination for the first time, and today we are announcing that MetaZoo TCG will be our first product to come to market. But in many more ways, we are familiar. Our game designers have built many of the most beloved TCG properties in the world. Our team members have spent hundreds of years collecting, collectively living and breathing cards and games alongside with you. We have piloted card concepts through every stage of production and every phase of the developing trading card culture so far. We are looking forward to taking everything we've learned and putting it behind a property that we believe in, MetaZoo. Cryptids are a global presence with deep regional ties. Billions of people have already heard the stories, and some purport to have experienced them firsthand. The power of their stories is at the heart of the human the heart of human storytelling. So we are happy to announce that the first product will be a new original trading card game available in Q1 of 2025. So that's only like a couple months. Maybe 5 months at the most. This base set will be the first of several planned expansions that begin to develop the world of MetaZoo. So the interesting thing about this, all that to say, they're changing the game to a whole new game. The cards that are previously printed in MetaZoo will not be playable in the new IP.
Then why do this? Like, that's what I don't get.
I see. There's 100% why they do it. So the game failed. Obviously, the game failed. The game went under. Clearly the game wasn't working the way it was made. It wasn't fun or whatever. The concept of the game probably wasn't amazing, but what they liked about the game was the cryptids, the story, the art of it, maybe the like it's like you had, say you had like Magic the Gathering, like the story's amazing, but like the gameplay's dog shit. So like they're trying to like make it good.
So the way I see this, like, why not just make a whole new intellectual property and not have to spend $2 million on this?
I think $2 million is fairly cheap for what they got. Is the thing. I think that I think they like it. That's the thing. Okay, so like, say Magic the Gathering went under, and say Magic the Gathering went under. You had $2 million to buy Magic the Gathering, and you're like, I can make this better. I can bring this back. All the people that love this, I like say like, I don't know. That to me, it feels like they're trying to like.
You're not buying any of like the company infrastructure. You're not getting any of the card designers. You're not getting any of the connections with the distributors.
You don't want any of that because that's all dog shit. That's the problem. All failed.
Well, that's what I mean. So if all they bought was the idea of Yetis and Mothmen, bro, you don't need to buy that. You can't. I don't believe any of that's like patented or trademarked. So like they could have just assumed this like shroud of we like cryptids and spooky stuff, and just done away with all the things they didn't want to incorporate in.
I think it's more about revitalizing a product that they believe in. I think they believe in MetaZoo. Like they were like, this could have been great. It got destroyed by people that were terrible at managing the company. They didn't know how to do it. And they're like, we got to bring this back. They have the ability to do it. Gamecubator Labs has been doing this. They've got the backing of people that have been in the industry for decades. If it was, I think to me the way I see this is I don't know, like I said, I can't explain why I care, but I think it's like a story like that is like, what is it called, the
underdog story.
Yeah, the underdog story where like it's like a product that was like struggling. It wants to be a real thing. It really wants to be a real thing. It's failing. It's going down. It went down. It died. And now they're like bringing it back.
Like just believe in fucking Flesh and Blood or something. Those could be a great underdog.
But those aren't underdogs. None of those are underdogs. They've proven to be good. So now I don't care about them anymore.
Well, the story's like been told. Hey, just remember, if you guys want to be a channel member for $1 a month, you can get extra content like the live stream we're going to do right at the end of this one, only for channel members. Along with that, we've got some higher tier offerings in case you want to pay to play. You get a little bit better if you rank up. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Tell me a card game that died and came back.
About MetaZoo, and I don't care about MetaZoo. Like,
here's the thing. This is why this is a good underdog story, or it could be. Tell me of a card game that has died, went bankrupt. The actual developers of the company have left, and then somebody's bought the IP and brought it back. Tell me name one. I can't name one. I can't name a single one.
I cannot either. But I think that
That's
that's for
cool.
good reason.
Is it? We'll see.
If yes, at least in this aspect, for sure. I do not understand why like anybody's making a second go of this.
I
I
think it's
would love
interesting.
if it
I
did
want to
well.
follow this story. There's a guy called what is it called? Nick Strength in Pokemon MetaZoo. If I do this, he's like the first one that pops up. Yeah, this guy, Nick Strength in Pokemon. So he's like a big avid MetaZoo collector. Like you can see, like in his background, he's always got. Well, I don't know if this is gonna stop playing. Well, maybe I'll keep going. Yeah, so he's got like the skateboards in the background. He's got like I guess he's like a bodybuilder, but then he just loves MetaZoo for whatever reason. So he's been following this story. I've watched a couple of his things. He covers things really nicely, goes through like the documents and stuff like that. Yeah, he's got the finger on the pulse, I guess is what you want to say. But yeah, this is,
Yeah,
I don't know. I like following
for a
the
while
story.
he
I
was
think
just touching a corpse.
what would I here's the real question. Would I purchase any? I have thought about purchasing MetaZoo to like try to like
With the whole
to catch
company.
it no to catch it on the fall of like product that you would want to buy, and like and then once it revitalizes and comes back, you like it bounces back. But now that they've killed that, because none of the cards that they previously was printed
Right.
will be usable because the whole game is new.
Well, so do you think that this is like that much further of a death knell for any like lasting product for old MetaZoo? Like, if it's not going to be usable in the new iteration of the game that they're making, is there any reason to like buy?
I was checking MetaZoo, or I was checking the MetaZoo prices on the old TCG player.
Oh, speaking of TCG player, make sure, folks, we've got an affiliate link. So if you're buying anything through TCG player, just click the link down below and help support the channel.
I also can do this you can do this little command, exclamation point affiliate when you're in the channel, and Nightbot should be like, blow, bada, bada, bing, bada, boom, here's the link.
Would love.
He'll be there. He'll get there. He'll get around to it. He's got to sort the database.
We both stoned.
He's got to sort the database and figure it out. I have full faith it'll work eventually, right? Did I spell affiliate?
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
good. Also, did I spell affiliate right?
Ellie Mega, like that's kind of how I felt about it. Is like the first time I heard about MetaZoo,
it is
I was
kind
like,
of the NFT.
This sounds like an NFT thing. Like this is BS, and you are not wrong. You are not wrong. Like that's one of the reasons it's failed is because of like the same crypto bros were behind it. Crypto and cryptid is too close. This is a terrible marketing scheme.
So like if you look at the products here, like this pricing it's on an upward trend. Like within the last month, it's been up 10%. Last 3 months it's up 33%. Last 6 months it's up 50%. So like people are clearly interested and want the old product, and I'm not entirely sure if it's because they want it could be speculation.
Yeah, I think it really is.
Like the native again up 40% in the last 3 months. It's
I mean,
like
if people didn't care before, why do they care now? Speculation. Like it's not that there's a resurgence in players. It's not like everybody just got back from a.
Well, there would be a resurgence of players had the
company given a shit about the old cards.
Well, yeah, it was like if Gamecubator Labs was like, we're gonna allow. I don't know. See, the very strange thing is it's a new TCG. It will be a new. It's weird because it says the product will be a new original. That's not the. What the fuck does that mean? A new original? Like to me, if it's an original of MetaZoo, it's like the base product. But if it's new, then it's no longer original. I mean, I don't know. It's very the wording is strange here, but the way that it's worded is that like none of the cards will be.
Like,
this is like a brand new.
That's the joke.
Sure, and also it's unclear if it's going to be. I wonder how many people are in this Discord. How many people give a shit? That's the real question,
dude. If we have more people in our Discord than they do in theirs, like this is one of those moments where pat ourselves on the back.
Okay, so
careful you don't dox yourself. Yeah,
I'm only it opened in the actual app itself. So it says you've been invited to join MetaZoo game official servers. If you had to take a guess, how many members do you think are in the server? Knowing that this is about a couple
Bruh,
weeks
I
old.
want to say either 69 or 420 because this game is a fucking meme.
So there's 11,934 members that have joined, and there's 1,720 online.
I wish we could see how many of those people are subscribed to Alpha Investments on YouTube. Like what the crossover rate is. Is it more than 95%? Well, speaking of 95%,
I don't know. He poo-pooed the shit out of me. He hasn't covered this at all. He hates MetaZoo now. It's like a betrayal. He can't stand it. He hasn't talked about MetaZoo at all. He hates it. He like addressed it like one time and hasn't said a damn thing about it. I'm surprised he hasn't covered this at all.
It's definitely a development, to say the very least, and he was one of the like cornerstones of it getting the traction.
Oh, for sure. He believed in MetaZoo and he got shat on. It's one of those things where like he got betrayed. So like this is probably like I don't know. Like I don't know if I don't know. He hasn't given his opinion yet. I might message him later on and be like, what do you think about this? Hey, you haven't even covered it. It's weird. Are you just like so like pissed off about it that you can't even like cover it?
Right.
But either way, this is interesting. The interesting thing to me is that it's like taking a failed product and like it could be something good. I can't explain. I think it's just the story is interesting to me. I think it's worth covering because there are apparently at least 12,000 people in the Discord that care about it. So yeah, well, I'll continue to give you random bits of MetaZoo information that we don't care about.
There we go. Well, hey, speaking of could be interesting, we've got a live stream that we're doing right now over just for members. So make sure, last moment, if you want, hit that link down below, become a channel member, and we'll see you over there. Until next time, I've been Pat. You've been awesome.
I'm Matt.
He's also awesome, but like, I don't think he practiced an outro.
No, there's the link though.
Yeah.
For the video for the members only.
And then we dance as the stream ends.